crossbar, and it will flip the truth table. Okay, so that effectively the cell is rotated 90 degrees clockwise. And so if you take one of these cells, you can say copy or Control C, say copy, come down somewhere else, and you can say paste. Okay, so there's another cell going from south to north. If you take this one and copy, well, if you just say paste, then it becomes that cell. But if instead you had said OR paste, it basically logically ORs the truth tables together. So now the cell is performing two functions, this function and this function. Now you don't want to OR things that are both specifying the same outputs, because that becomes ambiguous. But as long as they're specifying different outputs, you can say copy, OR paste. What did I say? Rotate that one, copy it, and OR paste. Okay, and there's your crossbar element. And if you said, make me a new grid that's 8 by 8, and you can say select all, and go over here and say copy, and you come over here and you say paste, and there's your crossbar. Okay, so it's fairly easy to build circuits, and especially when you get comfortable with keyboard shortcuts. It's very fast to lay out wires, it's very fast to sort of yank one part of a circuit and place it somewhere else and so on. I don't know how much documentation I have on this. What I don't already have I'll put together, but it might take another day or two. But basically, you can open grids, save grids obviously. The printing functions don't quite work all that well, so you might want to stay away from them. You can turn the grid on and off. If you turn it off, it's a little easier sometimes to see what's going on. And then right binary grid is how you actually create a .bin file. And the bin file you create here, you can load into the simulator with the L command. And you can zoom in and zoom out. Do it on the menu here, or you can do Control plus and Control minus, so you can zoom out, and it actually is useful to get it that small sometimes. And you can scroll around. You can scroll around with the mouse key or the arrow bar. If you shift and use the scroll wheel, it scrolls in X, Y. Otherwise, it goes up, down. Cells. You can define truth tables for them. You can also change the icon. So if you say save icon, it'll open up a little graphical editor, and you can basically click on any color that you want. Click on a square and fill in pixels like that. You can click on one point, point to another point and say L. I'm sorry. Point on one point, click on a second point and say L, and it'll draw a line. Click on one point, click on another one and say R, and it'll draw a rectangle. So there's some basic icon editing tools like that. I've seen some people really go off the deep end with this thing. I had one person who just came up with these amazing graphics, and I don't know how long he spent on it, but he came up with these incredible icons for different cells and made this totally beautiful looking circuit out of it. It's kind of fun to do actually, if you get time. So you can make icons, and then the other thing is libraries. So if you say open a cell, in this case I have a library path set up under my home directory under the loader subdir. The libraries generally end with .lib, so here's one guest.lib. If I open that up, that basically gives you a collection of different cells in that library. And if you've built a library, then all of these have meaning to you. Some of the general purpose ones I'll document, and I'll tell you what they do. But basically, you can open a cell, and again, there's a description sometimes, there's comments, and there's actual Boolean equations, and there's an icon. So that's the basic idea for laying out circuits. And like I say, once you sort of get a kind of base collection of cells built up, it goes pretty quickly. Laying out wires is really quickly, again, because you can select the whole section and paste into it. There's one particular grid. Page may not be in here. Most of what you end up doing is sort of making yourself a palette of useful cells, such as this one, which is called useful cells. And it just kind of has, you know, most of the basic wires, wires that go on corners, wires that go in straight lines, wires that reflect back from an input to an output. These are pieces of flip-flops, which we'll talk about in another class or two. There's some crystals. This outputs 1 tick every 128. This outputs 2 every 128. And you sort of build yourself a palette of cells that are useful, and you save it under a grid somewhere. And then when you want to build something, you know, you want to make a wire going from east to west, you just kind of copy this, paste it, rotate it, copy it, select the region of cells you want, paste it into those, and so on. So it's very much a point and click thing. And when point and click and making truth tables gets to be overwhelming, there's a command line version of cell compilation that's also available, where you can actually just make a file that contains the different cells you want, and you can build up palettes of cells like that.
In the libraries you're looking at, are these always a single cell? Or are they?
Yeah, each cell in there is a single cell.
Okay, so
when you have something that has more than one cell to it, you basically put it in a grid file.
say that it's a
Right, and that's what this command line version, the lib compiler, will let you do, is say, okay, here's a 3x4 section of cells, here's what each of the truth tables is, and then it creates a grid file that contains those 12 cells that make, you know, a piece of a flip-flop or something. Okay, I'll get this software up on the website today. I'll get documentation up as soon as I can. And on Wednesday, we're going to talk about flip-flops and memory circuits, and we'll start digging into some larger collections of cells and try to get to doing some actually useful stuff. So any other questions? All right, see you Wednesday then.